Take a taste of that right there. That's an amazing piece of savory meat.
Welcome to Drake Outdoor Adventures. Today we're going into the kitchen and I'm going to share my favorite duck recipe with you guys. It's a Southern Asian inspired duck recipe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some duck breasts that we shot last year. I'm going to split them, I'm going to marinate them in a soy sauce, tomato sauce, ginger, marinade that I've developed. And then once these marinate for about an hour, we're going to fill them with cream cheese, wrap them in bacon, and put them on the grill. It's my favorite duck recipe. It's going to be awesome. Y'all come check it out. Okay, first thing we want to do with this recipe is we want to take good care of our duck. I took our duck out of the freezer. This duck was harvested on December 26th. One of the things that's really important when you're taking your duck out of your freezer and when you're putting your duck in your freezer is you want to label that duck. You want to make sure you pull the oldest out first so that you're getting a good management of your meat while it's in the freezer. Another reason why I like to label it is I like to think about the hunt we had. Okay, this duck was harvested. We went with my wife Jessie. When she was pregnant, she was able to hunt in the woods, and then some really good friends that I hunted with, that I've always hunted with, and then I also met some new guys that day, and we got some ducks down in the trees. It was a really special hunt, and opening these things up later in the summertime helps you relive those moments, and I think it's really exciting. And you can share these stories about the hunt with the people that you're sharing the duck with. So that's something to think about as you go forward. So I thawed this duck out. I gave it a nice easy thaw in the refrigerator, and then I put it in a salt brine. I use about half a cup of salt for a bowl this big, and I've let it set in that salt brine for about 24 hours, right? So now we're just going to take the duck and we're gonna drain it out. I'm going to rinse it out. And I'm not going to use all this duck for this recipe. I'm going to age some of it in the refrigerator for a couple days, make another recipe, so we'll split it up here at this step. Give it a good rinse. And I'm going to take the breast I want to use tonight. I'm going to lay them right here on the cutting board. There's 3 of us having duck tonight, and I want to make some leftovers. It's Father's Day, and we're doing a little cookout right here at the house. So we'll do 6 breasts. We'll have plenty of leftovers. I'm just going to set that duck right there. Wipe my hands off. So now let's make this marinade. I'm going to start it off with a full can of tomato sauce. I'm not too partial to any brands. This is a Walmart brand because I'm a Arkansas boy, support that Walmart. Then I'm going to take soy sauce, again, no special brand. I'm going to use about half a can of soy sauce, which is quite a bit. Take that back, about a third of a can, it's going to be about right. I'm not real precise with my measurements when it comes to cooking. So if you're a real precise cooker, I'm going to drive you nuts. Full can of tomato sauce, third of a can of soy sauce. And I got some Karo syrup. We're going to do about a third of a can of Karo syrup. Adds a little sweetness to your duck. You could use honey as well. If you didn't want to use any sweetener, you wouldn't have to use any. But I find that this really adds a nice glaze to the duck as it cooks and gives it a nice flavor. And then I'm going to put some ginger. Let me grab a measuring spoon. My ginger is powdered ginger. It's not super fresh, so I'm going to use quite a bit. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of ginger. And this gives it really, the ginger and the soy sauce gives it a unique Asian kick. A fellow by the name of TJ Mallet turned me on to Hoover sauce. And this is a sauce that he found down there in the Delta in Mississippi. And he shared that sauce with me, and this is something I made that's similar to that. That sauce was made by a Chinese man living on the Mississippi Delta. In a little country store. It's hard to get to, but it's really, really good stuff if you ever run across it. Now I'm going to give about a forkful of chopped garlic in here, 2 forkfuls of that, into the blender, and then we're going to blend this. Okay, now I got my marinade made up, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to split these duck breasts in half. I'm going to grab a big bladed kitchen knife, take these duck breasts. I'm going to split them in half and I'm just going to set them right in that bowl. You're going to want to use a glass bowl every time you marinate. Okay? If you use a metal bowl, the metal is going to mess with the flavors of your marinade, especially since we're using a tomato base here. It's real acidic. It's going to draw the metal flavors out. You don't want to do that. So ceramic or glass bowls. Glass is preferable doing marinades. I'm going to do this side of the breast. Now I'm going to split this on this side. This side of the breast right here has got the tendons on it. And I'm going to leave that together. And then this side of the breast right here that's just all meat, that's where I'm going to do my cuts. So this area will help hold the breast together better. So I'm going to lay it out skin side down, put my hand over the top of it. I'm just going to do one big split like that. Maybe one more cut. That the blade stays right in the middle of that breast. This is going to give the marinade good penetration. Splitting the breast, and it's also going to be a place where you can lay your jalapeno and cream cheese in it. So once this breast is split like that, stick it right over here in the bowl, and then we'll do all of our breasts that way. And these tenderloins, I'm just going to pitch those in, and those will all be in one wrap together. So as you guys watch this video, thanks for watching the video. If you have favorite duck recipes of your own, drop them in the comment section below. We're really interested to see different ways people use the meat that they harvest. I, for one, think that duck is a fabulous meat. Really enjoy eating duck. I really like eating it fresher, but it does keep really well in the freezer. I don't let anything sit around my freezer for longer than 6 months. So we eat a lot of fresh meat. This is the last duck I have of the year. Like I said, it's Father's Day in June, so we're getting through it. Now once I've got all the meat in the bowl, I'm going to take that marinade and I'm going to pour over this duck just like this. This marinade is not reusable. You're going to use it once and that's going to be it. This marinade is also pretty strong marinade. So if you're thinking about doing a marinade, if you do something like put this marinade in and then leave it overnight or the next day, it's going to be really strong flavor. You're going to want to let this thing marinate for an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, and not much longer than that. So what I like to do is get my marinade started, get my ducks on the marinade, and then I'll go start the fire. When the fire is ready, we'll pull these out and do the wrap and stick them on the fire. So 30 minutes to 45 minutes is what I like to target for the marinade. Alright, so let's get the hands rinsed off, get this cut board rinsed off, and let's go start the fire. Okay, so we got our duck on the marinade, now we're going to fire up the grill. This is just a Brinkmann grill I've got. The freaking thermostats got knocked out of it somehow. It's been around the house for about 8 years. Freaking love this grill. So I'm not real partial to grills, but this one works out really well. What we want to do is we want to make a bed of coals down here in the bottom of this. You can take a look down in here, and I've got a couple of mesquite pieces. You know, some hickory pieces would be really good in here too. Any kind of smoky wood that you want to add to your duck, you can stick it in there. We're going to get this thing fired up, drop some lighter fluid in here, get this thing fired up, and let those coals burn down until they get nice and white. Stick the grill grate right over the top. And yes, I do grill a lot of times barefooted. I know it's not a good practice, but I like living on the edge. Okay, it's real important when you're doing a backyard grill to think about your grill placement. You don't want to get it too close to any vinyl that might be on your house, or if you have vinyl screens or something. This is fiberglass screen, and this is aluminum soffit, so I don't have to really worry about that too much where I'm at. And this is far enough away it's not going to melt anything. I have melted siding on the house before, so it's just something to think about when you're placing your grill. So we're going to let these charcoal get nice and white, and in the meantime we're going to go back inside. We're going to wrap our duck up with bacon and load them up with jalapeno and cream cheese. And then when these charcoals are ready and this is nice and smoky and warm, we're going to come back out here and start this grill. Y'all check it out. Alright, so our duck breast has been marinated for about 30 to 40 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these out and I'm going to wrap them with bacon, cream cheese, and jalapenos. So y'all zoom in real tight to see what we're doing here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take my cream cheese, open it up, and I'm going to chop it so that it comes off in pieces before I pull the duck breast out. And get everything prepped up and ready laying out here before my duck comes out. That piece is a little thick. That's about the pieces I'm looking for. Get that out. I'll get my jalapenos, a little pile here. Plenty. I'll take my bacon out. I'm going to take it out one piece at a time because I'm not going to use all this bacon. I'll leave it out for breakfast tomorrow morning. Alright, so we'll start pulling our duck out. I'm going to lay that down right on top of a piece of bacon. Cream cheese in there. 2 or 3 jalapenos. These jalapenos really don't make it that spicy, but they do add a lot of flavor. We're just going to fold that up real nice. Doesn't that look great? I'm just going to roll this up real tight with that bacon. I've literally had these duck like this before. The same night I had steak. And without a doubt, the duck was better than the steak. Give me another duck breast, lay it right there on that piece of bacon. Cream cheese. 3 or 4 jalapenos. And man, that grill is starting to smell really good out there. I know that mesquite wood I dropped in there is starting to smoke. I prefer fat pieces of bacon, the wider bacon. Not necessarily thick cut, but a wider piece of bacon. Some of these pieces of bacon right here are kind of thin this way, but like these ends are real fat. That makes it a lot easier to roll up. So I'll try to flatten that out a little bit for the next 2 or 3. Now I've seen people make duck poppers and make them smaller than this, but use a similar recipe. I prefer these bigger pieces because I'm going to cook these medium rare. I think it's important to cook them medium rare, and it's easier to do with a bigger piece, and then you eat this like a steak all in one. And it's less work too. Cutting these things up into little bitty pieces and running toothpicks through them and half pieces of bacon, it's just a lot of work. Wrap that up. Another little thing I do is when I wrap this bacon around, I'll tuck the tail right back into the bacon. When you tuck it back in, as soon as it warms up, that bacon's going to shrink down tight and hang on to it so your bacon's not falling off your duck while it's cooking. So we'll leave all this right here on the cutting board, and we'll carry it to the grill and transfer it from the cutting board to the grill. You don't want to overhandle this too much or the stuff will start falling apart. So the grill's smelling right out there. I see it smoking a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and stick this stuff on the grill. Look at that. You see right down in there, those nice orange coals this time of evening? That smell, oh man, that makes me think of being at duck camp right there. I love it, love it, love it. So we're going to get these guys right onto this grill. Now it's important to know that whenever you're cooking bacon over the grill, it could cause flame ups. So I see some flames down there. We're going to keep an eye on that. We don't want to burn this or scorch it. We just want to get a nice even cook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these on the grill. Then I'm going to close this vent. Slow that fire's roll. Set the lid on this thing. And then we're going to keep an eye out for flame ups. If we get a flame up, I'm going to grab some water and douse on it. The only bad thing is it makes some smoke, some ashes. Not the smoke, it's the ashes that kick up from the coals. So we don't want that to happen. But that'll, you can't really taste the ashes or notice them in your food. Unless you're looking really hard, you might notice them. But it's much better to have that than to have burnt bacon on the outside of your stuff here. So if you look down in there, it looks really good. And that'll cook out really nice. This is going to cook for about 10 or 15 minutes on one side. When the bacon's done, we're going to roll it over, cook it on the other side for another 10 or 15 minutes, and then these things will be ready to eat. So we'll check on them here in about 10 minutes, or sooner if we see a flame up. Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes, so we've cooked on the first side. I haven't had any flame ups. I think my fire is very tame. It looks really good down in there. I don't know if you guys are able to see that. We're going to turn these ducks. Let's take a lid off. Take a look. Alright, so there it is. Cooking nice, low and slow. This is things are going really well. These ducks, oh look at that. Man, that is a good looking duck right there. These ducks are mallard ducks we shot in the woods the day after Christmas. I like to do this type recipe with my mallards, wood ducks, any larger breasted ducks. Wood ducks are not very large, but they can work. But my smaller ducks, I'll do something else with them. I wouldn't recommend doing this with your diver ducks, because you're going to taste a lot of the duck in this recipe, right? This is you know, the better tasting ducks, your dabbler ducks, mottled ducks, pintails, mallard ducks. Teal are going to be a little bit too small. It's going to be hard to handle. The rest of those ducks, those smaller ducks and those diver ducks, you can save those for the gumbo pot. I've got 3 really good recipes I like to do. I like to grill my duck like this. I like to make gumbo out of it. And then I just like to cook them in the pan, like a steak, a hot cast iron pan. We'll share that recipe with you guys later. Those are the 3 ways I like to eat duck. This one is looking really nice. We got another 15 minutes and this will be ready. I've opened the vent to let that fire heat up a little bit more. So let's give this another 15 minutes and then we'll be eating duck. Okay, it's been another 15-20 minutes and these ducks should be done. Haven't been opening on this lid. I'm trying to keep it nice and warm in there. So let's take a look. These things are sweating out real nice. You can see the grease from that bacon right up on top, which is really nice. Turn this over. I'm going to say that duck right there is good and done. Let's get these in the house. Turn them over. I got good looking grill marks. You might start to see a little bit of red juice come out on the plate. That's normal. That's good. You want to see that. It's not blood. It's red juice. See it right there. Whew, smoke's getting to me. That's okay. Don't want to cook this duck to death. You've already shot it to death. That's good enough. Look at this in the light. One of the things I like to do when I'm prepping my duck breast, I didn't mention this earlier, but when I see a bullet hole in the duck breast, I want to go ahead and run my finger all the way through that breast and all the way through that duck so we can pull out those pieces of steel. You don't want to leave any steel in your duck, and then you want to tell people that's eating your duck, hey guys, be careful, you know, chew it slow in case you bump into a piece of steel, because you can chip a tooth, and it's bad news to chip a tooth on a piece of steel. You don't want to do that. Let's go inside and enjoy some duck. Alright, so we're going to divvy up these ducks right here. Take this one that looks the rarest. Oh, that's what I want. Jesse will have one like that as well. And we're going to dig in. Let's take a look at this one right here. Now I like to serve my duck up with a glass of dry wine, dry red wine, because I don't like that sweet wine. I think it pairs really well with this duck meat. So what you want to see when you go in to eat this thing is you're going to want to stab the fork and you just want to cut across it like this, right? So you got a nice gray pink color. This is almost a smoke ring on this. It's a nice pink color. And then we'll stab it and you're going to eat it just like this, and that stuff will ooze out just like that, and you want to cut right across. And you can see this duck's nice and tender too. So let me take a taste of that right there. That's an amazing piece of savory meat. It's amazing that we can go out and enjoy God's creation and harvest a fowl that's so beautiful in the woods and in the trees, and then bring it home and then it tastes so good too. This is a really lean meat too. These things have been flying all the way from Canada by the time we get to them. So it's a really lean meat. It's good for you. You don't have to worry about these things being pumped full of hormones or anything. It's a really healthy food for you. And then Bud always hunts with us, and he's a retriever. He's always retrieving our birds. So keep your dogs in mind when you're eating your duck. You know, they like to enjoy some too. You ready, Bud? He'll never let it hit the floor. Thanks for watching, guys. I really enjoyed sharing this recipe with you. If you had anything you liked about the video or you didn't like, please post in the comments below and we'll be sure to take note of it. If you've got some recipes you want to share with everybody, drop them right here in the comments below so we can all share. I'm certainly interested in more recipes as well. Also, take a look right here at the edge of the screen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can see some of the videos of us actually harvesting these ducks right here in this video. Thanks for sticking around and watching. I really appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel, and we'll see you guys out there.